It's Tank, and we are building our robot 0013. We're going to stream it. Got to be at the studio today until 5 o'clock. I have an appointment at 4, so until those people come, we're going to sit here and just draw and get our robot going in Nomadsculpt. So last night at my night gig, I had a lot of time, and I pretty much have him built. But the original idea, I don't know if anybody's been watching One Piece, but the latest episode was really cool, and Luffy did like a speed blitz and was fighting this guy named Lucy, and he just like ran up to him and punched him really fast, and it was just beautifully animated, and it was very cool. So originally I wanted him to be like a fighter dude with like 4 arms and like, I don't know, just like this triangular headpiece. And this is the idea I was going with. I just wanted him to be like a fighter, and I was going to do a lot of like punching poses and stuff like that. But then I was like, you know what? I want to do like kicks instead, but this was the original idea. This is how my process works. I like just sketch out some nonsense and just build random things. And yeah, so it was gonna be like a 4-arm dude, and like he's gonna have 4 arms, and there was gonna be like points. Oopsie, what am I doing? Of course I have a medium blend brush. Anyway, he was gonna have like points on his fists, like there, and then I guess on that one, and the other one was like gray. And then just a bunch of glowing pieces. I wanted him to have like this back jetpack thing here, and that stayed consistent in what I was doing. But again, I switched the idea because I didn't really want to do a punch guy. I wanted to do like a kick guy instead. And so then I started like messing around with like flying knees, and still I wanted like this pointy like headpiece for some reason. I just kept drawing this pretty much, and like just flying knees and looking at different stances for like kicks, and I wanted him to be like kind of thin, and I wanted to keep like this jetpack thing here. See, I wanted to keep like that jetpack, like thin jetpack thing on his back, a bunch of glowing pieces, and yeah, no, I was just having fun just figuring out like different kick poses and stuff. And again, the pointed face, the glowing eye, a bunch of glowing pieces, his jetpack thing. I don't know if it's a jetpack, but I don't know. I want this thing to be on his back, and I wanted his feet to have like glowing pieces on the bottom. And yeah, so this was pretty much the idea. And then I started to build him. This is my idea for the head. Again, I wanted like there to be like this pointy triangular, like not like a pyramid thing in the middle of the glass on his face. I just wanted to try something new with like the way that I design like their like eyepieces, because at first it was like the wire mesh thing that I always do. If you check back to any of my other robots on my Instagram, they all have like the same couple things. They all have an antenna, and they all have like this wire mesh thing for their eye. But on the 12th one, I changed it up a little bit, and so on the 13th one, I want to keep that going, but I wanted to have like a weird like pointy triangular piece that sticks out of the glass. And so that's what we're gonna go with. So this is my idea for the head. Like I said, I already drew all this stuff because I was at work and feeling kind of bummed out, and you know, I had some time on my breaks, so I would just draw a little bit and then go back to work and draw a little bit. So I pretty much have them fleshed out, honestly. I wanted to try something a little different on the arms too. I want to try like this spear, like this rotating piece around his arms, like it goes around like that, I guess. And then like I wanted to do a little bit more detail on like the fingers and stuff, because I usually just make it like one piece like this, but I'm gonna make it like a couple pieces, and then like a joint portion here, and just try to add a little bit more detail to the limbs, so that way that when I start to do like action poses and stuff, I have a little bit more like range of what I can do with the arms and the limbs and stuff like that. So this is my idea for the arms, because again, this guy's not really a punching sort of robot. He's more about kicks, but I still wanted to have some fun details on the arm. And so I made it like the upper portion here, there's still like there's a main portion of the arm, and then a twist that goes around it on both sides. And then the center portion of the arm is like a sphere in the center, and it's like capped on both sides. And then the lower portion of the arm, which is pretty much the same way. And then the hand, which has its own base there, so it can rotate around this way, and then on top of it is the other part of the hand, so it can rotate around the other way, or up and down, maybe something like that, some sort of rotation here. And then each finger has a base, and then the actual two parts of a finger, instead of like, I know there's more than two parts, but like in this looks like it's like a knuckle and two parts, and then a thumb and two parts, so it's movable. So all of this is going to be in separate sections, is how we usually do our robot. And also the shoulder is just like a little teardrop, and then just a little glowing piece there. So it's gonna be like at the shoulder, and I know I have like this little ball joint here, but I think I might have the ball joint and like an extra little thing there, just so there's a little bit more room off of the torso. And when we start to do action poses, it might like be better for us, but we'll see when we get to that point. But that's the design for the arm. A lot of glowing pieces, even the center piece I'm gonna have like glowing bits. I wanted to challenge myself to do something a little bit more difficult on the hand, and so that's what we're gonna do when we get to that part. Then the legs are supposed to be like the main part of this guy, and again, I have such trouble designing legs. Like, I think this is cool from the front, but when I look at it from the side and from the back, I have issues with it, because this is gonna be like kind of like narrow, I guess. Even from this side, it looks like it's gonna be narrow, and the upper portion of my legs are always like hard for me to design, but like the lower portion looks cool. And we got like what it connects to, and then I'm gonna have it rotate around this ball axis here. See, I'm on a level that I shouldn't be on. Gotta create a new one. So it's gonna rotate around this ball axis here. You know, let's choose a different color, because I keep doing it white and it's not showing up. Okay. Let's get away from these colors that we're using. All right. So anyway, there's gonna be a ball axis there, so the knee can. All of this is gonna be able to move, because for the action poses I need it to. And then I have a little ball axis here, so the foot can be moved at a certain point too. And then the upper part of the leg connects to here, so I guess we can bend it out like this way as well, and then down, and then the foot is as we need to. But I have like a lot of like ball joints and stuff. So another issue I'm having with the upper portion of the leg here is like, so this part is going to connect to the hip or whatever, and again, I don't know if I need like to put like something in between, or just a ball joint here. But again, since we're going to be doing a lot of action poses, I feel like there needs to be a little bit more space between like the hip connector and the leg. And also I need to do something here to make it feel less thin. Maybe I'm going to expand like these purple pieces out a little bit more, and maybe it won't feel so thin. But we'll get there when we get there. It seems like it's going to be a simple fix. Like, the main part of the leg is this purple stuff in between, so it's sandwiched in between like these two like metal rod parts that go into like this cap here, which goes into the ball joint. I know it's a lot of just scribbles, but this is how I process things in my head. And then we have like the shoe that glows. I put a lot of emphasis that like I want the bottom of the foot to like either have something shooting out of it. And I'm loving this blue color, even though everything is like purple and white. I love this blue color, so maybe the energy might be like purple and blue. And again, we'll get to this when we cross this to bear, but I wanted him to be like a white robot with like either purple accent or like something with this blue energy stuff. And so that's what we have for the legs. The waist, I always forget to design a waist, so this time I made it really clear what I'm gonna do for the waist. There's gonna be like a square to sit like for the rest of his torso, and then we're doing like these chops, like triangular chops. So it's gonna be like, this would be where the rest of the body would sit, And then in the front, it's going to have like a triangle piece there that goes up higher, and in the back, it's going to be lower, but it's going to be wide enough so that we have whatever we have for the legs, whether we have a component there and then like another piece here. Maybe I shouldn't do this on just a random layer. I gotta make a new layer and do all this stuff. All right, let's give it a new layer. All right. So yeah, so this is what it looks like from the front. Very simple pieces. I'm gonna do a curvature for this front piece. So we're gonna make like a triangle with a tube tool, and then do a curve, and it's gonna put another triangle like this, like underneath it. And then we're just gonna like increase the number of triangles until it makes that shape right there. And then we're gonna make it nice and wide so that it's not too wide, because we don't need this robot to be like super wide, but wide enough so that we can fit whatever we do for his like his mainframe, like his spine to go there. And then I always forget to design the back, because everything looks cool from the front, but then you forget that there's still a backside to this in 3D. So again, in the backside, we're gonna do another like triangular piece, and then we're gonna have a curve, so it's gonna give us this space in between. Then we're gonna fill in the curve with just increasing the number of triangles, and we're gonna make it nice and wide. So it might look a little wonky until I figure out exactly how to do that. And then we're gonna cover the bottom with a sphere. And we're not gonna see this top portion of the sphere though. The sphere is gonna be cut. And then we have these side pieces here, which are just like easy to make cylinders. And then we're gonna shrink the cylinder. So it's a cylinder out here. We're gonna clone it, shrink it, make it a little bit longer, and make it additive, make it glow here. So it's a glowing piece right here. And then on the edges, I have like this ball joint for where the legs will connect. But again, since we're gonna do a lot of action poses, we might have that and like a little extra piece here, like an extra cylinder here, and then the leg connects there. Again, it looks like a lot of noise, but this is how I see things in my head until I can actually create it. So then we also have this more glowing piece on the top triangle, which is an easy thing. We just make like a square, turn it at an angle, and it'll give us this piece, and we cut off this back portion, and then we place it in place, and it'll give us like that glow, like a diamond there, sort of. And so that's how we're gonna make that portion there. Or we can just take this first triangle, clone it, turn it off, and then proceed to make everything else. Either way, I'm gonna figure out that part out. But then there's like this flat base here. Again, that's where everything's gonna sit, and then we have the back portion, the higher up front portion, and then the hips right there. And that's where the body's gonna sit. So I can see this a little bit clearer. There might be some difficulty when we start making it, but that's the fun part of this. Is figuring it out. But we have a dedicated hip. Unlike the last one, we didn't have that, and it took me an extra minute to figure something out, because I had to go and draw it. All right, and so then the torso, again, I wanted him to have, let's make a new layer so I don't forget, make a new layer. So is it all the way at the top? Yes, it is. So the torso, again, I wanted it to have like these jetpack things on its back, and they're just connected like by like a little thing there. And then there's like glowing pieces on the other side. And I guess energy would go outward, and like he would go forward or something cool. I don't know. It's like a propulsion system, sort of. And then the scaling is really weird, because I made the head and then I had to like shrink it into place and everything. So the head's gonna be probably a little bit bigger. It looks really like proportionally weird, like his legs are super big. And again, see, this is the issue I was saying, like they're super narrow right here. I don't like how narrow this is. So again, we're gonna have to fix that. And again, see, this is, and with the hip placement, we just have the ball joint here. But again, once we get into action poses, I think we're gonna need a little bit more space between the hip and the leg. It looks like just do the base model, because I always start with just a standing base model. And it looks like this. And then after we make all the components and we have everything separated into bits and stuff, so like this portion is gonna be separate, that portion is gonna be separate, the head and the neck are gonna be separate so that we can move everything. And then this upper portion of the leg is gonna be separate from the lower portion and the foot. But we have to build everything first. So once we get to the point where we have everything built, then we can start worrying about rotating things along axes and stuff. So the first thing I'm gonna do is just build the robot himself. I always start with the head, and then I just go wherever I feel like going. I think we're gonna go head, torso, waist, one arm, one leg. That's all you need to do. Oh, and you know, in the back and stuff, and that's where I was in the drawings pretty much. But this is what I think of what's gonna look like. I like the purple, but I also really like this blue energy thing that I keep putting around him. So I don't know if like his exhaust is gonna be like purple, or when we get down to it and we start like, you know, putting in the glowing pieces, am I gonna make him like blue? I don't know. But in my drawings, I love purple. Purple is my favorite color, so I always just default to purple. It's like, oh, let's choose another color. No, let's choose purple and then just work our way around it after we've made everything. So that's pretty much what he's gonna look like. Like I said, thin arms, thicker legs, a very cool, like shallow torso. Like his hips are kind of cool. Thin torso, nice, a lot of glowing portions in his like in his midsection, I guess. A lot of glowing portions on his head, and the jetpack things in the back. And that's where I was in my like drawing process before I went home. I was trying to flesh out what the back of him looks like, and so that's pretty much where we're at right now. So we're on the back of the robot's torso pretty much, and what we would envision would be back there. So I was thinking like it's sort of thin on the hold on, I always gotta add another layer because I don't want to mess things up. It's just gonna be like two thin like connector pieces that this connects to, and then I guess the top portion was gonna be like cylinders like that, and we're gonna add a hole, because you can do that in your shapes, because sometimes they can come out like filled up like this, but you can add a hole and it'll be like that. And then I guess we can have like energy like spewing out of the top parts like a volcano, and then just the bottom portion just glows a lot. Like these just glow really heavy. There's a heavy glow around them, all of these things. And then up here in this portion here, I don't know what I was drawing, but I'm thinking like some sort of like cylinder thing here. So we're gonna go in the reference layer and make it black, then down our pen some, and then just like so there's like a few connections here. I was thinking like how on his head I drew these like pieces that are like glowing like this, and they're on his head and they look really cool. It's like an injector or whatever. That's what I call them every time I do it, like an injector or something. Like whatever this fluid is inside here goes into the robot like that, or it just like sits there and it's like an extra like energy source or whatever. So I was gonna put that on the back of him and at an angle like how it is on his head, but I was thinking like not coming off to the side. This is just how I drew it, but more coming out like this way, if that makes sense. So it's like I'm not the best at articulating these things in 3D like when I draw them, but in 3D it's gonna look fire. So instead of it going straight to the right, it's gonna be at an angle and down like that. I hope that makes sense. I hope you understand that. That's where this is. That's what I'm drawing here. And then just like so we got a little bit of space in between the jetpack thing there. So I'm thinking like a glowing circle here. So what I always do is I just make the circle, let Procreate correct it, and then I make it into a circle and move it into place where I think it would be, like that. I think it would be there just like that. And then we make it a real thing, and then we erase what we don't want to see here, because that's not going to be there. The eraser is way too big. And drop down the eraser. So we wouldn't see in here. We wouldn't see in here. That would be gone. We wouldn't see here. So that circle would be like underneath there, and then we make that glowing. It's just be like just an extra glowing piece. So what I do when I do like these black lines like this, I would separate that out of his back portion, and that's another thing that we do. Like when we make our robot. Am I doing this? I'm doing all of this on the reference layer. I feel so bad. Let's add another layer. So when we make our robot, the front and the back half, like we'll design it like this, and then we're gonna split it in half. And when I split it in half, I do whatever I need to do to the front, and then I do whatever I need to do to the back side of it as well. And sometimes we have to make like trims, and trims make holes, and that hole would go all the way through our robot, and sometimes we don't want that, and that's why we split it in half, because when we split it in half, the trim will only go up until where we made the split, and whatever's inside here is not going to be able to be seen, right? Another thing that we can do, that I'm probably going to do, is that I'm just going to split the back portion. So again, I don't need a circle. When I do split it, I don't need this going all the way through the robot. I just need it just through the back side. So when we make that split, it's going to give us like this circle piece right here, and it would go all the way through, and we don't want that. So yeah, so it's going to be a split right there in the back portion, and then we're going to take that split and we're going to shrink it down some. So it's going to start out like that, and we're going to shrink it down just a little bit, and it gives us this space in between. And what we're going to do in that space in between, let me get another color. Let me get the green here. Inside here, when we first make the square, we're going to make a clone of that square, and it's going to be like exactly the same size. We shrink it down a little bit, and we make it additive, which makes it glow. And so whenever we do anything from like after we make our shrink on the piece that we cut out, the inside is going to have a glow to it. So around this area, there's going to be a glow to it, and that's pretty much what I'm conveying here with that circle. It's just to remind me that I'm making a split there, and then when I get to that split, I shrink it, and you'll see the inner glow. Okay? All right, so let me get rid of all that. I'm going to delete it, but let me just turn it off, and then go back to the reference layer, and then get rid of this stuff on the side. Okay, so it's just the stuff on the side. Okay, let's make this eraser bigger now, because I don't need all that on the side of my reference layer. And then smaller. Yeah, get rid of that. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Just the access lines and stuff. So yeah, so we have that circle there in the middle. Oh yeah, and this is open, so we gotta close this. Change that to black. Good. We get a little bit bigger. Close that pixel there. And I know another part of it was still open. Close that pixel there. All right, so yeah, so now we have that. So back to this portion up here. So now we just have like this box on his back. And I like the boxes and stuff because it seems like this is where you would put extra components and everything. I'm thinking maybe just like another box stacked on top of it. That's a little bit smaller. Okay, quadrilateral, get fixed. Get fixed, bud. What's your beef? Get fixed, buddy. All right, that's good enough. So then we're gonna have two stacked boxes. The top one's gonna be a little bit more narrow. That's how I see it in my mind. And so it looks like this, closer to his back. It may even be at an angle too. Maybe like this, like that. And then we have the injector pieces coming off the side, going like that. Small details, but I like them, so that's, we'll fix it. We'll get there when we cross. We'll get there. We'll get to that when we get there. But again, I just want to have it up there. And then again, I like splits and glowing pieces, and so the injector pieces are going to be like solid here, and then these are going to glow. And then so we're just going to put some fun lines. Like he has that circle, so inside here we're going to put another circle here. Nice circle in the center like that, and then diagonal lines there and there, and then I guess a straight across here, or we can do it like halfway and then come down like that. Yeah, I want a line, buddy. A line there, bud. So move it up, move it into place there like that. Good line. And another straight line here. Straighten that out for me, thank you. And then just, again, anywhere that there's lines like this, we cut them out and we make it glow. And then the top box too. Let's just put like a V. You're gonna give me a straight line? No. V. So that means on the top of the box, it'll be like this. And then like when we go down to the side of the box, it'll be like that, just to add more flavor to it. And then that's pretty much the back. Real easy. So we're gonna start filling in pieces. Boop. And then we go to color drop and just fill in all these gaps. Oopsie, no, zoom out, mink. I'm just gonna make that purple. This is supposed to be white, and that's white. Then we go to our cool purple, like that. Ooh. Oh crap, I'm on the reference layer. God, I always do that. I start to get the color in and I forget that I'm on the reference layer. Okay. Let me check. Okay. So now we're on the color layer. Actually, we need to go back to the reference layer one time. Go to black, close these. Those were giving me a hard time earlier. And then erase right here. Erase that right there. Okay. And erase some of this here. I don't need this. What is all this? Okay, so now we can go back to our color layer and then we can get started. So we need the white. I'm gonna drag and drop, color drop all of these sections that need to be white. And you. There it is. And then our cool purple. And then this one's purple too. And that's pretty much the back. That's all I really wanted to convey with the back. That's all I really needed to convey with the back. Yeah, so again, we're gonna duplicate this. And this is another thing that I do. All it's gonna do is affect the glowing parts. And I just go through the slider in case there's another color that I like more than purple, which is never. But we like to try different things with the sliders because this is what it's gonna look like with the different colors. And I know I said there's like this light blue that I want to see, so I'm gonna find one that makes it light blue, somewhere like that, somewhere here, and then sharp like that. And like I like that color, like this icy sort of like it's before it turns green, like this icy blue here for all the energy and stuff on them is also a vibe. I really like that. We're gonna clone layer 2 again, and we're gonna turn this one off. Oopsie. We're gonna turn this one on, and then we're gonna change this layer. See what happens when we scroll through. This negative is crazy. That's crazy. I like this this opposite design sort of deal here. This is insane. That's pretty cool. And then hold on, duplicate that again, and then put it above it like that, and then put like overlay screen. Oh. There's one that'll give us like the lines back. That's cool as shit too. Divide on top of that one looks cool as shit too. Black with a glowing green, but we already have a robot like that, so I gotta get over myself and choose something a little different. But yeah, anyway, the dark purple, that's so sick. It's so sick to me. You know, we don't need all this stuff. I'm just playing around with like the different versions of it that I can see, and that's what I do before I decide on the color scheme. But again, I always go purple. I love it. It just looks so clean to me. All right, so this is going to be the back of our robot. Pretty simple. A lot of like rectangular pieces. We can use this layer again. A lot of like rectangular or like pieces like that are going to be easy for the main portion of it. Again, we're going to have a cutout in the center there. And this is just the back side. And so we have within that circle like some cylinders, some oddly shaped cylinders. We can give them like a third axis there so they're bent a little bit. And then this is just a tube tool to make this shape. I think that's how we're gonna do it. Or we can make a sphere, make it long, and then cut it, and then it'll still give us that shape. Trying to think of how I'm gonna make this shape here, because it's not like just like an oval. It's like one part is like an oval and then it's straight, meaning like, I guess it is like that, but the edges are sharp. So it's an oval with sharp edges, so the edges would be sharp and then oval center, and it'd be like that. Because in 2D, yeah, it looks weird like this, but in 3D, it would look like this pretty much. So it's like we take a circle, we make it long, and we somehow make the edges sharp. Which is why I think we can just make the tube tool, pinch the edges, put a third radius here, and expand it outward. A lot of mumbo jumbo until we get into Procreate, but yeah, we got about an hour left, so let's just jump into Nomadsculpt. Let me jump into Nomadsculpt. Let's jump into Nomadsculpt, and let's get started on the head. Oh boy. All right, so we got all our stuff here. I sent all of this except for this layer. I'm gonna save this just like that. We're gonna go to actions, we're gonna go to share, we're gonna go to PNG, exporting, nice. Save the image, export successful. All right, so now we're gonna jump into Nomadsculpt, my favorite thing. I already created the project. You know, whenever we start, we name it and then save it immediately. We make sure that our auto save is every 3 minutes because I forget to save, and then we delete this initial crazy sphere that they give us that has way too many polygons. I'm a guy who likes to have very little memory used at the end of every scene. So I want to make them as small as possible in case I want to add it to another scene like I have here. Hold on. Let's open up. Let me show you guys the other scene that I have. So this is like about to crash. But anyway, so this one has 4 characters that I built all in one scene, view mode. And it's like we got a healer in the back, we got like the samurai on the right, we got the big berserker dude in the middle, and then we got the gunslinger on the left. And they're all in one scene because I made them so low polygon that it was possible to do this. Because any other way, this thing would crash so hard. I have some other things, like when I first started using this, they would all have like 100,000 polygons in a tiny little circle, and it kept crashing, and I'm like, why is everything crashing? It's because I wasn't making it, like, decimating the objects. I was adding more polygons than I needed, and that was like messing everything up. But now we learned how to do decimation and make everything small. And then I recently learned that when you import files or when you save files, you can save just the files that are seen, and I didn't know that until too late. So all these ones that aren't shown, like 2, 32, 35, 34, I could have sent all these files together without the ones that I wasn't using, because some of them are backups, some of them are different arm stances and like just action pose pieces, and so I didn't need to send them. But what that does is like it's unnecessary polygons and memory being sent to the file. So you can send it as just the parts that are visible. You'll just send those parts, and then again, I could have fit like 3 more people on here. But if I wanted to do this again and just, you know, resend everything, start with one of them, save it with just the parts that are seen, I could fit like 6 people on this platform, and it would be just fine. It looks like I could probably fit like 1 or 2 more dudes on here without it crashing. But again, it's very risky. But yeah, this is what I like to do. I like to make all these little robots and have different color waves and different sizes and just different stuff, and add them all to like different scenes and just take pictures with it. This is what I consider fun. This is how I express my creativity. And yeah, so now we're gonna go back to number 13. I'm gonna open up bot 13. Whoop. If it doesn't crash our system. There it is. See, that other one had just has way too much going on in it. Anyway, all right, so we're back to bot 13. We're gonna get rid of this freaking sphere because it has way too many polygons and I don't like to use it. Shout out to Drug Free Dave. That guy got me into Nomadsculpt. He's an incredible artist. Go check him out. I mean, honestly, he taught me a lot, like just how to like the basics of this stuff, and yeah, he's a very cool dude. So Go check out his work. That's Drug Free Dave. Shout out to him. All right, so now let's get started with our guy. I'm going to, like I said, I always start with the head. We're going to go reference image. And this little robot dude is from my 2D to 3D class where I teach people the basics of Nomadsculpt and Procreate. And this is the bot that we made. And he's very cute, and he's pink, and I like him a lot. But we're going to import the photos that we took for this new project. We need the head. We need the arms, we need the waist, we need, I didn't save the side portion of the legs. Okay, that's fine. We're gonna need the back as well. We're gonna add all those pieces, and boom, there they are in the space without a background. Sometimes I like to have a background on them, but let's go back to Procreate real quick and then get the leg, even though I'm like kind of angry at myself with how I designed this leg, because this guy's all about his legs. It's okay. We're gonna take this portion and we're gonna save it. No, go back to gallery. We're gonna save it, share it as a PNG, and save the image. All right, now we're gonna go back to Nomad, go back to our reference image. We're gonna click it, import photos, the legs, add it. But like I said, we're going to start with the head. And so the head has so many little pieces to it. I don't know where I want to start, but we got to figure something out. So he has like a Naruto head bandana, which is just a cylinder, which is easy, a chopped up cylinder with a glowing piece in the middle, easy enough. We got the head pieces, which are squares, like the ear, I guess I call them ears, which are like squares. We got this bottom chin guard, which is going to be an interesting shape to make. And then we have the glass piece that I want to make. Let's make the glass piece real quick, because I really want to make that. And we got to start with the head anyway. So we're going to go to our scene. We're going to go to add. We need a box. Oh, yeah, we're going to change this back to matte cap, because we're going to make everything clay first, because it's just easier for my brain and my eyes, because both of them are bad. Anyway, so now we have this angle here. We're gonna shrink this down, and then that's pretty much done. That's done. Let's decimate that motherfucker. Miscellaneous 1, 2, 3 decimation. Nice, cool. All right, so yeah, that's pretty good. And now we're gonna go to our tube tool, because I think that's the only way to make a pyramid. We're gonna go to tube. We're gonna go to path. We're gonna make a straight line as best we can. We're gonna give this 1 profile, please. We're gonna give it 2 radiuses, please. And we're gonna make this narrow here and bigger here, like that. And then we're gonna rotate around and look at it. This is pretty much what I wanted. Honestly, that's what I wanted. I wish I could make it straight on without closing it. I think that's pretty good. Gizmo. Align. Snap 90. Your boy likes a snap 90. Move it in there. And then we're going to join these 2 pieces together after I decimate this thing a little bit, maybe. And this is what I want the glass to look like. Let's make it a little bit bigger. So I still want it to be square, but I also wanted this pointy thing to come out of it. So we're going to validate it. We're going to see if we need to decimate it. It's already small enough. We're going to combine these 2 together, hit join, whoop. And now it's 1 snap 90 piece. Cool. And this, we're going to check and see if we can decimate it down. Oh, we can decimate it down a little bit. Okay, cool. And now we're going to make it additive. And that's the glass piece, baby. It is 1. Wait, is it? Hold on. Insert a view mode. It's supposed to be 1 piece. It looks like 2 separate pieces. Did I mess up? All right, let's undo. Okay. All right, validate. Oh, okay. I know what I did now. Okay, so now that we're gonna take these 2 pieces and voxel remesh it to make it 1 sorted thing. There we go. And now, see, like look how many polygons it made this thing into. 79,000. We don't need that, guys. It's one piece now. But look how, we're gonna decimate the hell out of that thing. But again, once we, one more fudge. There we go. All right, now we're gonna make it additive and see what happened. Yeah, see, now it's one piece for sure. But when you voxel remesh, it makes it so many freaking polygons, man. But again, now it's one piece. It's one piece. It's flat on one piece, which is what I wanted. And this is the glass dome where his eye will sit. So we're gonna call this the eyeglass. EYEGLASS, eyeglass. Cool. And so we're pretty much going to build around this thing. I'm going to turn it opaque for a little while, but we're going to build around this. This is how I wanted his mirror to be for some reason. So that's how it's going to be. All right, so now we need to build like a jaw around the bottom of it. The jaw piece like sticks out some, and it also has enough room to have those glowing pieces off to the side of it. So that's what we're gonna make happen here now. We're gonna do the bottom jaw. I think we're gonna need the tube tool, our trusty tube tool. We're gonna do a path, and we're just gonna go here, add a dot there, here, add a dot about there, and there. And we're gonna need a few more dots, but let's make it hard dot, complete. All right, so we're gonna take this and wrap it around like that. I'm gonna take this, wrap it around like that. Wrap it around like so. Give it a profile, pink. Let's see what happens when we give it all the profiles, huh? All the radiuses too. All the radiuses. All right, so profile-wise, like that, like that. How do we have it? Okay, so it goes down and back. So this is so hard to do. All right, damn, like that, like that. That's pretty cool. But it's gonna go back a lot further. So let's do that. Let's make it go back a lot further. So it's at an angle like that. This comes back more. This comes back more. This comes back more like that. Oh, heck yeah. That's pretty cool, gang. That's pretty cool. Line that up. Make that a little bit bigger. Make that a little bit bigger. I'm gonna press it right up against the box there, like that. And so we have all these extra parts where like the glow is gonna be going through, but don't worry, we're gonna cover all of that with different squares and circles. But we just wanted to make that jaw. And I think we did it. I think we did it, honestly. Let's gizmo it, align it up, and then bring her down some. Yeah. It's a little bit crooked, so let's put it back on view mode. Bring this up a little bit, bring that up a little bit. World center. That looks pretty good. I know it's gonna be off and crooked a little bit, but again, nothing ever is gonna be perfect with one of my robots, and I'm okay with that. So we're gonna validate that, and we're gonna decimate it a couple times, lower that polygon count. And we got our jaw, baby. We got our jaw, baby. And we're gonna name that jaw. It's not a jaw, but that's what I'm calling it. I don't care. Jaw. And then eventually we're gonna have, in the case of the next part, there's a line here, and we're gonna make one of the ears, and then we're just gonna clone it. All right, so we're gonna make this earpiece here. So we got save real fast because we got our glass and our eyeglass, and we got our jaw. And then above that, there's a line. Okay, so we need a box for the back of the head. So let's just add the back of the head, and we're gonna call that the head itself. We're gonna validate that box. We're going to decimate that box. I love saying that, it's really funny. decimate that box. And then shrink her down. And then back it up. And then make it bigger. And then squeeze it in some, because it just needs to be the back of the head. It needs to come out just enough till about here. And why are we doing that? Because when we do this additive, this is what's going to be seen. That's all I really want seen. Even less, to be honest, less of it's going to be seen. But we need this box piece that's just bigger than the eyeglass, and it doesn't need to be that wide. So let's shrink it down even more, bring it forward, covers up about here. That's good. I like that. So we're going to call this the head, the back of the head. Just call it the head. H-E-A-D. And we're going to move this to the top, and we're going to put everything inside here. So then that's one fold. Cool. So everything's going into this square here. So now we have that square, and now on top of that square, well, we have, let's finish with the sides. Let's finish the sides here. So we have a little portion right here that we need. It's already cool. It's already so cool. And even though it's just like a couple little shapes, it's so cool to me already. Because I could see it already. All right, so next we're gonna do, let's do the top of head cylinder. Because I said I'm gonna do the ears, but let's just finish covering the top of the head. We got the sides to do. Let's do the top of the head with the cylinder. So we're gonna add a cylinder. Look how big that boy is. We're gonna validate that baby. We're gonna decimate it down, and then use our trusty gizmo, shrink it down, move it up in place. Already kind of cool. That's really pretty much what we want, but we're gonna scale it down. Let's scale it up. Let's scale it up like that, right? Honestly, that's kind of it right there. That's kind of it. Yeah, that's it, honestly. I like it. It comes over the dome a little bit. It comes over the top a lot. And we don't really need the back portion of it. We just need, like, the front portion. Up, like, half of it. We need just, like, half of it. But for now, we're going to call this headband. And then we got to make some cuts on this thing, too. And make some choppies. So, let's make the cuts first. Make the cuts. Ooh. Okay. We're gonna clone it. We're gonna shrink it down just a little bit. Move it up just so we can see it. No. Put her back. Shrink it down some. Make it additive. Okay. And now we're gonna do some stuff here. Okay, so now we gotta make some cuts. So we got 1, 2, looks like 3 cuts. 1, 2, or it looks like 2 cuts. All right, 2 cuts. All right, so we're going to split this bad boy. We're going to go world center. World center, please. Thank you. And then we're going to go to a polygon. No, we're going to go to rectangle. Easy enough. And we're going to split to the corner of the triangle there. Bang. 1. And then we're going to go to the other side. We're going to split, oopsie, to the other corner. Bang. Oh, nothing to trim. Okay, so we got to select. Duh. All right, we're going to go there till about the corner. That's a little bit further back. Trim it. Bang. And then now we can select. Now we have 3 pieces of this split. And now what I'm going to do is it 3? Okay, so this one probably needs to be split one more time. And we're going to split that to about the edge there. And then this one too. We're going to split it till about, oh, not there. Not there. There it is. There. So now we got all these different splits, right? Split, 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 split. Cool. All right, so now here's what we're going to do, gang. We're going to go to our trusty gizmologist. Shrink it down a little bit. Shrink it down a little bit. Whoa, 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 whoa. Actually, that's not what we're going to do. Let's move it out. Let's go. Like that, right? Let's just move it outward. What am I doing? Let's put all this stuff back. Let's start with the edges. Okay, so we're just gonna move it. Oh, did I have the split there or not? Okay, so we gotta split this one again. Okay. All right, split. World center, please. Thank you very much. About, that's a little too much. A little in. There it is. Split. Okay, now gizmo, trusty gizmologist. We're gonna move out. Look at that. This little piece here. Move out a bit. There it is. Opposite side. Out. Opposite side. Out. We got about 30 minutes left, gang, until my appointment comes here at the studio. But until then, let's keep going. We got 30 minutes. They're not here yet. All right, so I wanted to make those splits because that's what we have in our drawing. And then we have another split that either we can use, make a square, or we can just use the rectangle tool and make a little split in the middle right there. And that's what I'm going to do. So we're going to go back to our trusty split tool, make a square about here. Nothing. Okay, we're going to select that piece like we should have and make this square here. It seems like that's split that we just did is additive, so we could just trim it. I think it's a trim more than a split. Hold on. Yeah, let's see what we did here. Yeah, pretty much. Get rid of this whole thing. See, that's the problem when we don't. This is what I was trying to explain, that split goes all the way through. So that's why you trim it in half in case you didn't want that in the back. But we're going to get rid of the back half anyway, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, so that's the glow from the front. And then we're going to delete that one. Bye-bye. And that's our headband, guys. So now we need to merge all these pieces. We got mesh. We got mesh split. We got cylinder split. We got mesh split 1. And ooh, was I just moving it over while I was doing that? I think I was. Move that out some, like that. And just see what these pieces are called. So we got mesh split 1, mesh 1, cylinder split, mesh split, and mesh. Mesh, mesh split 1, cylinder split. And we're gonna join all those together, and then we're gonna move it up. Yeah, that's exactly what we wanted. And so we have this glow here, this cylinder 1. This is headband glow. Headband glow. Nice. So now you have this headband piece that goes all the way around. We're not going to need the back side of it. We're probably not going to need most of the edges, but we have it here. So I'm probably going to trim this little back side, or we're probably going to cover it up. So we may not need to do anything to it because all that part's going to be covered anyway. All right, so that's our headband. And let's select cylinder split and headband glow and shrink it just a little bit. Yeah. Let's move it forward just a little, and it shrunk it down some. All right, so now we can name this cylinder split. We can name it headband. Cool, now we got a headband. All right, so now there's a small portion like right here on the side. It's like a small rectangle, so we're just gonna save real fast, even though, look at that, auto saving me on the same page. Great minds think alike. And then we're gonna go to add, we're gonna go to box. We're gonna validate it immediately, decimate it 1, 2, 3, and then shrink. Pretty much, shrink. And the reason I'm doing it like this is because instead of just cutting it, I want a blocker for the back here, which is, I mean, I guess we already have that. Okay, so I really don't need to do it this way. I could just make it really tiny and then duplicate it. But this works too. I get one like that, and about there. View mode real quick. Gizmo. Alright, yeah, so we're just gonna do one at a time. Small. And it goes in between the jaw so it's even smaller, or I can just push it into the head. Oh, going the wrong way. Let's push it into the head here. Shrink her down. Move it up like that. Should a piece there like this. Like that. Pretty much. Was a weird collision there. Alright, there we go. It fits perfectly right there. Alright, and then we're gonna clone it, move it out, move it in. Symmetry, go to flip object on the x-axis, and that puts it into place on the other side. Right, coming off there a little bit, coming off there a little bit. Even though the left and the right side are not even, that's fine. That's good enough. Now we got that covered, so now we can name jaw ear connector. I don't know. Cool. Now we got those pieces done. Oh, didn't want to make that move. Alright, that's good there. That's good there. We can go to view mode. And that's there. That's pretty good. Coming together nicely there. Alright. Very good. Okay, next. We got the ear piece, which is a square. Square. Alright, so we add a box. We're gonna validate, we're gonna decimate, 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to shrink her on down into size and put it in place. Full shrinkage. World center, please. Let's see, world center, please. There we go. Take you out, shrink it down, move you up. 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 We're just gonna squish it into the head there, just like that. And it comes out a lot. I don't like it coming through on the glass, so we're gonna not be lazy. We're gonna shrink it down, squeeze it in there like that, just like that, just so it's like sort of off the glass. Let's make it touch. I gotta zoom in. I'm blind. I can't see. Alright, that's two end of it. About right there is good. About there is good. Alright, make it a little bit wider. Move her out some. Honestly, this little gap in between there, that microscopic gap there, looks kind of good to me. And it gives it enough room to stick out on the ear. No, redo. Redo. I didn't want to undo anything. And yeah, that looks pretty good there. It looks like it sticks out enough. Let's stick it out a little bit. Let's make it a little bit more wider. And move it out till about there. Cool. Yeah, man, that's pretty cool. And it's below, so let's bring it down just a little bit. Or leave it the same size and just move it down. No, leave it the same and then just move it down a little. Move down just a little bit, like there. Yeah, I like that a lot. Actually. Alright, so then we're going to call that the ear. It's not an ear, but that's what we're calling it. Ear base. Ear base. Alright, so we got the ear base. Cool. And now we need a tube. Let's just build this one ear and then clone it and switch it on the other side. But yeah, that's what we're going to do. Okay, wait. We have a thing here on the front. So we got to put like a dot. So we might have to make this a little differently, or just make it wider. Stick out a little bit wider, and then we can have placement for that dot. Because honestly, it looks like it's it looks like it's like this when it's not. It looks like it's like that, but it's not like that. So we're not going to do that. No. I think that's good enough, honestly. It's wide enough. Let's leave it there. Let's leave it like this, narrow. And that dot that we have there that's in the center can just go underneath here. So let's just make it a little longer. Bring it down a little bit more. And all right, we're going to call that. There's not enough space there in between, I think. There needs to be a little bit more space. So I'm going to bring it up. Reset, reset, reset. Honestly, this placement is fine. I'm just doing too much visually in my mind. Move her out. Move it out. That's good enough. All right, I'm set with that right there. That's good enough. That's good enough spacing and placement for the ear base. Move on to the next thing. Now we're going to add a tube, make a path, make it like a line like that, make it a real thing. Then we're going to rotate this bad boy. We're going to give it a profile. Yes, please. And then we're going to give it a couple of more radiuses. Yes, please. And then we're going to take this, add a line like that, make that radius sharp. Align this way on the line like that. That's pretty much what I have there, right? But hard edge. There we go. Now it looks like it. Yeah, that's pretty much what we got there. And then turn it back to one radius. No, we need all three. And then, let's leave that how it is, and then just expand it with a gizmo. Yeah, we got that piece that I want, that weird looking piece there. Maybe we need a couple more vertices there to make it like... No, it's gonna do that no matter what I do. Okay, we got a little bit longer. I like it. Yeah, it just has like this sticking out piece that I kept drawing, and I like it a lot. All right, cool. So let's gizmo it into place before we make any permanent changes. See where it sits. It sits nicely right there, right? I think it sits nicely there. Maybe just a little thicker. Yeah, because I didn't draw it very big, but I wanted it kind of like big. And that's the angle we want too, right? It's not straight, it's at an angle. I like that angle right there. All right, so ear flare. We validated it, right? So now we can decimate the crap out of it. Very nice. And then ear flare. I don't know why I'm calling, that's what I'm calling it. Ear flare, put that in the ear base, make it one thing. Nice. Looks pretty cool. Didn't need to do that. At an angle, it's ear flare, it's sticking out, it's a part of that piece right there. Nice. All right, so now we need a circle, a cylinder. No, a circle. Let's make it well, we have it as cylinders. All right, cylinder it is. I mean, the glowing cylinder. Add glowing cylinder. Cylinder. Validate. Decimate. Oh, that's fine. All right, what do we got? Yeah, that's good. That's good enough. All right, then we're going to go to snap 90, rotate it, and then shrink it on down. Move it out, move it up, shrink it down, out, up. Looks pretty good. Shrink it down. Well, guys, it looks like I'm gonna have to stop. As much as I don't want to, it looks like I'm gonna have to stop for now. Thanks for joining me. I gotta go turn on all the lights and stuff. I think they're here. Yeah, we pretty much made the earpiece. We've got that cylinder. I'm gonna make this one last thing before I go. Okay, so we're gonna make this additive and then go inside the ear base and call this cylinder ear glow. Ear glow main, okay, whatever. And then we're gonna clone it, snap 90, right? Oop, undo. We have a snap 90 on, yes we do. We're gonna bring it down, snap 90, make it smaller, bring it up, bring it out. And then there we have that front of ear glow that I was supposed to have before. Let's bring it in some. It's gonna be such a tiny detail, but I gotta put it because I made it. So let's bring it up something here. It sticks out. There's enough space that it's not touching anything. Just a tiny bit bigger. Push it in there, and then ear glow front. Cool. All right, we got it. It's all in there. Right there, like that. Perfect. All right, so now we're gonna save real fast. Bang. Ear base. Highlight everything in the ear base. Clone it. And then now we got to do one thing at a time. We cloned it though, which is what we needed. So ear base 1. So now we're gonna open it all up. We're gonna unselect all the pieces in just one piece at a time. Flip it along the x-axis, 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 x-axis. Close it up. See what we just undid. Bang. Now we got both ears in place. We got both of the ears in place. Look at that. It's coming together nicely, guys. But we're going to have to stop here for now. I'm going to be back a lot of hours later because after these people leave here, I am going to go work out to keep my sanity. But yeah, look at how much we got done so far on the head. It has the glowing piece that I wanted. It looks so cool so far. We got a lot more to add. There's a lot more components, a lot more glowing pieces, a lot more work to be done here. But this is where we're going to stop now, guys. Thank you guys for joining me. Subscribe to the channel, like and follow for more. I'm going to add this to the YouTube as well. And this is going to be part 1 of building 13. And yeah, this is all we got done so far is this base portion of the head, but we're going to pick it back up later. Like and follow and subscribe for more. I hope you guys are enjoying learning stuff and following along. And I will be back later on tonight because I have absolutely nothing else to do with my life. All right, guys, they're actually here, so I gotta go. Peace.